Hello everyone, and welcome back to Remote Only Hub, where I help you go remote and get unstuck. In this week's video, we're talking about 5 brand new jobs for pet lovers at companies that love pets too. So let's get into it. The first company I have for you guys today is through Fetch Pet, and they do pet insurance. They have no enrollment fee, you can cancel anytime, you get to use any veterinarian in the US or Canada, and they cover all of these things in this list here. So for everything from emergency visits, regular office visits, hospital stays, x-rays, surgeries, and everything in between. And they say our plan includes what other providers charge extra for or don't cover at all. And then I like how down here they have see how we stand out against other pet insurance providers, and you can pick whichever insurance you're currently with for comparison. So enough talking, let's get right into the job. So I'm going to scroll down to the bottom and hit their careers section. And how freaking adorable is that? But let's move on. Alright, so the role that we're looking at today is the call center service agent, but then there's also a call center retention agent for pet insurance as well, and we'll look at both. So this is for the call center service agent, and the first thing I want to point out about this role is the internet requirement. So this is probably the highest internet requirement I've ever seen on a remote role. They want 100 megabytes per second download and 30 up. So you would probably want to have fiber optic internet or an internet provider that has a really stable and high-speed connection. But other than that, I do like that they provide equipment, so you will get 2 19-inch monitors, a laptop, mouse, keyboard, phone, and headset that will all be shipped to your home, and IT will help you set that up remotely during your onboarding process. As far as the role goes, you'll support customer inquiries, act as a brand ambassador for the company, and strengthen the positive feelings customers have about Fetch Pet Insurance. And then they do mention that you'll get to take advantage of upskilling opportunities, which may include additional insurance credentials. In the day-to-day in this role, you'll handle a high volume of inbound calls, but then you'll also do outbound calls and send out emails to follow up with policyholders and Fetch customers. And the schedule for this role will be full-time, 40 hours a week, with varied shifts ranging from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And then in the required skills section, they don't require that you have a property and casualty insurance license, but it is preferred, and so that kind of comes back to the upskilling. So even if you don't have that property and casualty insurance license, that could be something that you would have the potential to look at getting in the future with this company as part of professional development. And then other than that, the only other requirement I'm seeing on here is they want you to have a minimum of 1 year of call center experience. And then everything else they have in here is just your basic skills that you would see in almost any other customer service type role. So I'm not going to point those out. You can pause and read through them if you like. While they don't have it listed on the job description, I did pull up the estimated pay through Glassdoor, and it looks like you could expect to make anywhere from $38,000 up to about $50,000 a year in this role. Our next role is for the call center retention agent on the pet insurance side. So right away, they do require a property and casualty license for this role. So if you already have a property and casualty license, then this is a perfect role for you. So I won't spend a lot of time on it because most people might not have that license. However, if you do, one of the things that I wanted to point out on this role is that they do require you to have that property and casualty license. It says the company will pay for licenses where applicable, so they will help you get additional licenses in other states as well. And while there's also no pay listed on this particular role, from what I could see on through Glassdoor for other similar positions offered by Fetch Pet, it does seem that you would make somewhere between $50,000 and $60,000 per year in this particular role. Alright, the next company I have for you guys today is through Fuzzy. So they do pet prescriptions, they also do vet consults, they do supplements. So this is kind of a ship to your door virtual vet consult type of company. This is how much money you could save a year by avoiding going to your local vet unnecessarily. And they say no waiting room, no drive to the clinic. The Fuzzy Vet team is standing by. You can refill prescriptions from anywhere. And their intuitive system utilizes your pet's medical history to create a personalized preventative care plan. Alright, so let's scroll down to the bottom here and take a look at their careers section. And the position we're looking at today will be both the member experience representative position, but then also the pharmacy support specialist. And this role would apply if you are a current or former vet tech or vet assistant. But first, we'll take a look at the member experience specialist role. And so this is just your standard member support or customer support type role. They do want you to have the first call resolution with their client, and it mentions being responsible and accountable for the knowledge of their products, subscription types, and promotion offerings. You'll handle all incoming service, sales, and billing related inquiries. You'll work tickets, so you'll need to have some type of experience on your resume that's in a ticketing system like Zendesk or Salesforce. You'll document all of those interactions in their CRM system, including updating information. And you'll resolve product or service problems, expedite the correction or adjustment, and follow up to ensure resolution. And then one more thing that I want to point out is that they do have service metrics, and so they have both chat and call monitoring scores, hold time, and ASA, which is average speed of answer. So how quickly you're picking up the calls or responding to the customers as those tickets are coming in. So all you need to have for this role is 1+ years of experience handling chats and calls in a fast-paced production type environment like a call center. They do mention working nights and weekends, and they mention some other basic skills here as well, and you can pause to read those if you'd like. I did also pull the estimated pay for this particular role in Glassdoor, and so it says here that the estimated pay is $37,000 to $52,000 a year. On to our pharmacy support specialist role. Now this is if you have experience in a veterinary clinic setting as a vet tech or a vet assistant. So if you have either one of those and at least 2 years of experience in that role, this would be a great opportunity for you. And in this role, they're looking for at least 2 years of experience in a veterinary clinic setting as a technician with previous customer service experience as well. A general knowledge and understanding of how vet clinics operate, basic understanding of prescription medication handling and regulatory compliance, a general understanding of pet care recommendations and treatments, and the ability to recognize and identify medications and what they're used for. In addition to that, you'll need to educate pet parents in an accessible way, be able to build that trust and rapport, and communicate with them effectively and confidently. You would be the next point of contact after they've already had their veterinary consult and have been prescribed a medication. So once the customer has that medication that's been prescribed, you would be going over that medication with the client, letting them know about any potential side effects, negative drug interactions, and anything else they may need to look out for. And unfortunately, there is also no pay listed on this role. I swear it's going to be the theme of the day. It should be illegal to not list the pay on positions, but anyway, from what I could see online for a pharmacy support specialist, you'd be looking at anywhere from $40,000 to $55,000 a year. There's always room to negotiate, but from what I could tell online, $40,000 to $55,000 is what you would be looking at for this position. So let's move on to our next company. And the next company I have for you is through PetSmart. And if you don't know about PetSmart, they are both an online and brick and mortar retailer of pet products. So that's anything from supplements to pet food. They also have grooming, they have training, they have a hotel that does boarding, doggy day camp, they do vet care, adoptions, they have a charity. They literally do everything, not just for dogs, but for cat, fish, birds, reptiles, and they offer all of these different products. And they're a company that's always expanding and offering new services and new products. So I feel like there's really room to grow in these types of companies as well that are larger corporations. Great room for growth, and there's great room to just hang out and do a job where you're talking about pets and pet products all day. So I think that could be fun. All right, so now that we're at the bottom here, we're going to go straight to careers. And the first thing that I will do here is type in remote. So right away, here we go. This is all the roles that we'll be looking at. They have a remote call center agent position in several different states. So we're just going to take a quick look at one of them. They do all have the same listing description and information on each of these different call center roles that just have different states listed. So one of the things I want to mention is that they say you'll find in this role a casual call center atmosphere, a performance bonus program, hands-on training, flexible scheduling, while you assist pet parents with their boarding accommodations and grooming appointments for their pets. So at first I was thrown off because does a casual call center atmosphere really exist? Well, maybe if all you're doing is booking boarding accommodations and grooming appointments, then you're more of an appointment setter and less of a I have a problem with my order, where's my package type of role. So maybe you could find a casual call center environment with this role. So again, they talk about answering incoming calls from pet parents to assist them with scheduling appointments and answering all questions about their service. They kind of give a little bit of an upselling vibe with this: ensure that all additional service opportunities are presented to the pet parent in a confident manner, including why the service would be beneficial to the pet's experience. So gives me, like I said, a little bit of an upselling vibe. So if you have experience in that, definitely include it in your resume. If you've done a little bit of sales or worked like in a retail store where you are having to upsell. But other than that, this is just your standard call center type role. So they are only requiring a high school diploma. They want you to have strong computer skills and the ability to navigate multiple systems at once while answering calls. All right, and then I do love their section about why you would love working with them. And one of those reasons would be you get to be with your pets while you're at work. And honestly, that's why I decided to work from home, is because I can't leave my babies anymore. So if you're like me and you need to be home with your babies, apply to these jobs, subscribe, like, comment. Make sure you turn on the notifications so that you don't miss any of my remote jobs. Let's all stay home with our babies. And in case you're wondering, the average pay for this role is about $32,000 per year. Now let's move on to our next company. So the next role I have for you today is their Independence Pet Group, and they are North America's largest pet insurance and services organization. They have a ton of brands. So they have Figo Pet Insurance, ASPA Pet Health Insurance, these other insurances as well. And these are massive companies, so there will always be positions available through Independence Pet Group. So let's go take a look at some of them. So I'm just going to scroll down to the bottom as we do, hit the careers tab. And what they'll have you do is click on one of their different brands to get to the positions. And so this will pull up all of the available positions. The two that I wanted to look at today would be the customer care agent and then the claims adjuster position as well. So really quickly, they do have a couple excluded states and territories. So they're talking about Canada with that. So if you're in Alaska, Montana, Hawaii, or some of those Canadian territories, then you would not be able to apply for this job. But if you're in literally another state, you're good to go. So the other thing I want to point out is it says this remote, hybrid, on-site position. Don't let that throw you off. It does say remote type, fully remote up here. So it is a fully remote position. And what you'll do in this role is you'll provide customer service via phone, email, and chat to new and existing clients. Those will be inbound calls. You'll assist those customers in establishing coverage for pets, answering benefit questions, claim status questions, and verifying benefits for callers. You'll have to maintain a good knowledge of IPG's policies, as well as how their billing and benefits processes work. In addition, you'll handle customer complaints, provide solutions and alternatives within the time limits, and follow up to ensure resolution. You'll also work with other departments to help resolve customer issues and identify areas for improvement. And then down here in qualifications, it does only require a high school diploma or equivalent. And then don't come at me in the comments, but it does also say must be bilingual. But honestly, I'm going to go ahead and ignore that because I went through the whole application process and not once did it ask if I was bilingual or what the other language was that I spoke. So I recommend still applying anyways if you're interested, or heck, if you're bilingual, definitely apply. There is unfortunately not a pay listed for this role either, and there wasn't one available on Glassdoor, so unfortunately we don't have an estimate on pay for this role, but I do still recommend applying if you're interested. And so I'll very briefly go over this claims adjuster role. So same state and territory restrictions there. This position is responsible for supporting the claims department by working closely with veterinary hospitals, policy holders, and the FIGO claims team to evaluate and review a pet's medical history to determine a baseline of health. The majority of what you'll do will be processing claims, and you'll also assist with calls to vets and policy holders to request medical records necessary to complete the claim processing. You can pause here if you want to read more about the responsibilities of this role, but what I want to point out is that they're not requiring any type of insurance license or anything like that, just a high school diploma. They do want you to have a vet tech license, but it's not required. And then they do prefer that you have 2 to 4 years experience working in a veterinary hospital as a vet tech. With that, we will move on to our last company of the day, and that is with the company called WAG. And so I would call this company a Rover twin, or I don't want to say Rover knockoff, but they do essentially the same exact type services that Rover does, and I mean their logo is the same color as Rover's. So they offer walking services, overnight boarding, drop-in visits for pets, and this will be more of a 1099 type role where you're not a W-2 employee. This is more gig work. So this again is like Rover, where you're either dog walking or you're doing pet sitting, either at their house or your house, or you could do drop-in visits. And so here they have this become a walker, and they show the top cities that they're in. But even if you don't see your city listed, that doesn't necessarily mean there's not a need in your city. This is just where they're biggest and they have the most demand. So once we click on Become a Walker, it'll take you to this page where you can sign up. They have an app that you'll be able to download. And again, you get to make your own hours with this. You can take on as many clients as you want or as little clients as you want. You do get to set your own pricing and potentially set additional fees as well, like if it's a big dog or if an extra long walk, or if it's more of a last minute type thing. So similar to Rover, you get to set your own fees, pick your own clients. You obviously get to make your own schedule. And so finally, under their FAQ section, they do have little help articles about what is an independent contractor, because that's what you would be as a walker for WAG or a pet caregiver for WAG. They talk about taxes, so the 1099 form that you would receive. And so that's all I have for you guys today, but if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you don't miss out the next time I post a video, because I post videos just like this every week. And if you're looking for an entry-level or mid-range job, you won't want to miss it.